Hello everybody. Hey, it's Brian here from Red Eye Reviews. We are doing a very impromptu, very hungover, very early Saturday morning Criterion video for you. Kind of got the idea from my buddy over at Screaming Cinema. You should check him out. He's on YouTube. He's also on Instagram as Screaming Cinema. But yeah, I kind of got the idea from him to do a Criterion video since Barnes and Noble and Amazon are doing their usual yearly annual Criterion sales. So without further ado, let's get to some fucking movies, and I'm going to show you some of the best Criterions you should pick up this weekend on the sale, or at least, you know, these are just the Criterions I've picked up on the previous sales. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. So, I'm going to pull from the stack, and I'm going to show you some of my shit. Let's go. First off, we have Blue Velvet. Now, this is one of David Lynch's best films, and if you don't know about it, look it up on Google. Honestly, this is a great addition from Criterion. It's got, you know, slightly better picture quality than the MGM disc. My only gripe about it is that it doesn't have chapter searches, but apparently that's from the man himself, Mr. Lynch. He didn't want chapter searches on this disc, so you're not fucking getting them. So yeah, Blue Velvet. This is Criterion's edition of Blue Velvet, and it's pretty fucking sweet, actually. So it's probably 20 bucks. I'd say check it out. It's worth your 20 bucks for sure. Next up, we have David Cronenberg's The Brood. And The Brood is interesting because it's something I didn't see till later, but it really messed with my head when I did see it. So yeah, it's you know, if you have, like, you know, it's David Cronenberg, so it's body horror. But if you have problems with body horror or pregnant women or babies and shit like that, stay away from this. But if you love it, jump right into this one. It's great. Here's the back. I mean, you can't really see shit, but whatever. The Brood, check it out, get it. All of these are good, so I'm going to recommend all of them. This is now out of print, but don't look now. This is a very, I have a weird history with this one. This one, it's kind of a thriller / drama, and it kind of ends with a twist that I won't reveal here. But it's very dreamlike. I recommend being on some sort of hallucinogens if you watch it, or something like that. But Don't Look Now is pretty sweet. It stars Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie, and I think it's the movie that has the actual sex scene with the two of them. Not that that matters, but it just kind of makes things all the more real. But yeah, it's a trippy movie, very dreamlike, very weird. Yeah, definitely check this one out if you can. I know it's not on Criterion. You won't be able to get on Criterion, but it's available through Paramount. They just released a single disc, I think, last month. So, yeah, check it out. Don't Look Now. Pretty damn good flick. Next up, we have Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. Now, Dressed to Kill is another flick I didn't see till I was much older in life. And you know, it rips a lot from Psycho, and Brian De Palma is not ashamed to hide that, but in a good way. Everything he ripped from Psycho, he ripped it in a good way. And, you know, stylistically, this is one of his best films. You know, it is... I don't know. I can't say anything else other than check all of these out, because this is one of his best movies, Dressed to Kill. I mean, it's also one of his most celebrated. So yeah, you could definitely get this today from Criterion or Amazon, and 20 bucks. Next up, we have another Lynch film, David Lynch, Mulholland Drive. And Mulholland Drive is a trippy fucking film. I remember when I first saw it, the DVD had a little insert that that kind of gave clues as to what was, how to interpret this film, how to figure it out, because there's not a whole lot to really say about this one other than you definitely need repeat viewings. It's definitely something you need to check out more than once, because there's a lot to take in, and there's just so much symbolism and underlining themes and shit. It blows your mind. It's something I'm still kind of grappling with today, to be honest with you. So yeah, Mulholland Drive, definitely worth your time, definitely worth your $20. Next up is something that you should have here on your collection, and that's Night of the Living Dead. This is probably, and hopefully, and I mean this in a good way, the last time I'm ever going to have to buy this fucking movie, because everyone and their mama has put this movie out because of the rights issues. But thankfully Criterion got a hold of it, and with some help from I believe it was the George Lucas Preservation Society or something, that basically preserved the hell out of this movie. And of course we need that. We need that sweet Criterion love, that sweet preservation of Night of the Living Dead, because let's face it, a lot of those DVDs that came out were dogs, and I think the only decent version out there was the Japanese Happy Net version, which, let's face it, it's kind of a pain in the ass to import. But this one, you can go right down your Barnes and Noble or to your Amazon and buy it for $20, maybe less. But Night of the Living Dead, hell of a restoration. I am, yes, thankfully glad to say that this is the last time I'm ever going to buy this movie, and that's fine, because I have a definitive version, and that's all I need. So yeah, on to the next one. Next one is wow, Alex Cox's Repo Man. And Repo Man, holy shit, man, this defines the term cult classic. So if you haven't seen this movie, go fucking check it out. I don't know if you can get this anymore. I think it's probably still in print, to be honest. It's a great transfer. It's a great movie. It's got some bonus features I haven't really fully dug deep into, but I'm all about the movies, so to me, presentation is king. So yeah, Repo Man, man. I mean, it's basically stars Emilio Estevez, who becomes a repo man who repossesses cars in 1980s LA, even though it's supposed to be like a futuristic LA. So yeah, if you haven't seen Repo Man, check it out. It's a must-see. It's a cult classic. It's one of it's the cult classic. So yeah. Next up, we have a movie that I know for sure you cannot get on Criterion, but I'm still going to recommend it anyway. It's Rosemary's Baby. And Rosemary's Baby kind of had the same fate as Don't Look Now, where basically it was in, print with Criterion Collection for a while, and then all of a sudden it just up and vanished because of rights issues, and now it's back to Paramount, and Paramount's, using, I don't know what master they're using, but they're basically selling their version of the disc, when honestly Criterion is the way to go. Rosemary's Baby, if you don't know, is one of the best horror movies ever made. In fact, it's maybe one of the best movies ever made. It's a slow burn, but it's a fun burn, and I say that with complete 100% honesty. This is a movie that I just love more and more every time I watch it. It's about a woman who, wants to, moves into the big city, wants to get pregnant with her husband, and she gets pregnant, and it's kind of under suspicious circumstances, and so the whole movie, there's this underlining feeling of dread, and you don't really know what's going on until you realize at the end. And I mean, it's an old movie, but spoiler, she's been impregnated by the devil, and she's going to have the devil's child. So, yep, Criterion, I love this edition. Honestly, for me, this is something, again, I'll never have to buy again, and I'm content with this edition because it's pretty much flawless. The transfer is really fucking nice. Really nice. And, yeah, it's good. Great. Get it. Even if it's on Paramount. Next up, we have another Cronenberg flick, Scanners. And Scanners is another one of those movies, I'd seen the infamous head explosion scene, but I have never seen the whole movie. So one day in my, early 20s, I eventually watched it and fell in love. I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but it's fun. It's interesting, and it's got that Cronenberg aesthetic, and, how could you not love that? I gotta say, there's one more Cronenberg film on this list, and you probably know what it is because it's Criterion, but Scanners is definitely on my list. So, yeah, check this one out, Scanners. You can't go wrong with Scanners, even if it's just for the head explosion scene. Next up, we have a very Hitchcockian thriller that not a lot of people know about, and I wish more people did because it's such a great fucking movie, and that's Shell a Grave by Danny Boyle. And this is right before he did Trainspotting. In fact, this is one of Ewan McGregor's first movies. If not, I forget, but I think it might be his first movie. Basically, him and two other people live in a house or a flat in Scotland, and they want to rent a roommate. They need a roommate, and so they put out an ad. They screen all these people, and finally they get a guy, and he's a little weird, but they decide to go with him anyway. Then one morning they find him dead, and there's a bunch of money in his room, and so yeah, that's kind of all I'm going to say about that. But it's very Hitchcockian, very nail-biting thriller. It's done with a lot of style. It's Danny Boyle, and that's one of the things I love about Danny Boyle is his style, and how his style mutates and changes, and how each movie he does is different. And I mean, you can even see that in his earlier movies. Between this and then Trainspotting, which he did right after, like, world of fucking difference. So I'm pretty sure this is available. I'm pretty sure it's going to be $20 or under. It's worth every penny. And another edition that you probably will never have to buy again, because no one's probably going to put it out again unless someone fucking puts it out on 4K. But yeah, Shell a Grave is worth all your money. And I'm not going to talk about the next movie here too much, because you should already know by now. Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is definitely a keeper. And again, this is another movie I am never buying again, because this is a definitive version. The picture quality is great. The sound quality is great. The features are pretty damn good. I don't know what else to say about this. It's if you don't know about Silence of the Lambs, then why are you watching this channel? Go watch fucking Silence of the Lambs instead. But yeah, another one worth $20. It'll be easy to get. And the last movie on this list, the last one, is David Cronenberg's Videodrome. So Videodrome, you can get this definitely today from Criterion and Barnes and Noble. And another one of David Cronenberg's great body horror flicks. This is a lot more surreal than The Brood or oh god, Scanners, I would say. It's a lot more surreal. It's a lot more of a mind fuck. It involves the television and how television corrupts us. And I mean, it's got James Woods and Debbie Harry from Blondie, and it's just it's definitely something you want to watch while intoxicated or stoned or something. But Videodrome is where it's at, and as the last movie on this list, I'm going to say, yeah, it's definitely worth picking up, even if you haven't seen it, because it's such a mind fuck. So yeah, Videodrome, pick that up. So that concludes my list today. Follow Red Eye Reviews for more. This is another test to see if videos, if people like videos. Yeah. Go to Barnes and Noble, buy some fucking Criterions. Amazon is price matching Barnes and Noble with most of the Criterions, so that's easy. But Barnes and Noble, I'd say give your money to them. Although I can't say that I didn't buy anything from Amazon during the sale, but I would just say support Barnes and Noble if you can. Otherwise, just get your movies. Get them any way you can. Cheaper the better. All right. Take care.